Good morning, members. Happy New Year. Indeed, a good year for us who are not in the first world country, because our problems are very different from what other people are doing. So, as MC had alluded earlier, there are people who are throwing punches. You know, the punches in our side ni ngumi yenyewe, lakini wale wanatupiana vitu zingine hatuelewi. Yeah, but we thank God for the peace here and also the rains. At least it reminds us on how to swim. Yes. If I see all of you here, and I think some members are also making their way to this place, it's a good gesture that no one drowned yesterday. Yes. Yeah. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to come here and present this to us. And on top of that, also from giving my firm opportunity to serve you. And we are always there to serve you whenever you need us. So for the journey that I've had with this association, and also maybe by a large extent the circle, I've seen some growth and energy within the numbers can actually check what is happening. The only thing is, unfortunately, last year I mentioned about members not contributing to the full number to number, man to man. That's what we call in election. But I've seen in 2025 that reduction has been there also. And you can see in your numbers comparatively, we've actually dropped the contribution by almost 26%. So last year, the issue was different. Not all members are contributing. This year, of the members who contributed, around 640 something plus contributed. Then you will find that even if you compare with the previous year, still the number has gone down. So that's something that we need to emphasize again and also encourage each other. Now, my work here is very simple. We just present the audit opinion, but I will take you through the numbers so that we can engage ourselves to the numbers and understand what we are talking about. So number one is the contributions by members, the 300 monthly. So during the year 2025, there are members who contributed even beyond 2026, up to 2027. There are members who contributed up to 2026. There are members who contributed fully 2025. And there are those who didn't contribute. And there are those who left in between the year. So that is the dynamics that the association is having when it comes to contribution. Nonetheless, during the same year, there has been investment by members. So one thing that you need to observe is that we had a diversification of investment portfolio. So I will want us to just go to page number 11. You are there? So page number 11, item number 4, you will see interest income in 2025 has performed better compared to 2026. Okay? And there is one thing that your officials did. They diversified the portfolio. So they took another investment vehicle which actually performed better than the other investment vehicle. And what we said is that in our meetings, we all agreed with one accord that that fund should actually be grown, okay, so that you continue taking advantage of that investment. So you find that Sanlam Investment gave an investment interest rate at 8.59%, but Mansa X actually gave 11.7 plus. Okay, on average, I've just taken an average through the period of investment. So that is a 3% plus compared to the other. So it's the one vehicle that will also help you accelerate your investment. Number two, entrance fee was there, and then sale of bylaws. Now, benefits paid during the period was 1.4 million. There is a debate also on that aspect, which I come after my presentation. And then expenses during the period. The highest expenses here was majorly on two things. Number one, look at the trust deed. These are new items that has been introduced. So there was a printing of those trust deeds. And then also we have printing and stationery expenses, which is what actually went up. And these are just, one is a one-off expenses, which might also subsequently recur by additional printing of the trust deeds if need be. But the most recurring one are the printing and stationery. This what happened last year. During the AGM, there was a mishap when it comes to printing. And now the number of whatever documents were printed, by the time the communication went there, everything had already been done. So, and the team had also to do additional printing. So there was that mishap. That was cost that increase from 47,000 to 69. However, if you look at other line item, there was nothing actually that increased. That's why the total expenditure comes from 398 to 358 to 458, majorly caused by the new item of 60,000. Investment, this is the size of your fund in those two investment vehicles, 8.9 million that you have. And then you have accounts payable. I'll just go to item number 9. There are only two things that have increased, and that's what I said. Members who contributed beyond 2025. So you can see members' prepayments. We are holding that account, that money, because it's not yet an income or it's not yet a contribution. So we'll now credit in the income statement in 2026, the 193,000. And then the 12,300 will be credited in 2027. So that means that there are members who are actually pushing the throttle to the end to ensure that they are fully compliant. So basically, that is the summary of presentation. I have a very simple statistics. In 2022, 2023, and 2024, there has been growth in contribution. Yeah, if you look at the numbers historically, you can tell there's been growth in contribution. And then in 2025, it dipped by 26%. That should tell you something. Yeah, that should tell you something, and it's a message that you should talk to your fellow members, encourage each other, because this is a good vehicle. Actually, Chair, this is an insurance in itself. Yes, so you don't need like to consider taking an insurance, but this is an insurance itself that you are doing your monthly premium of 300 shillings. By the end, on any eventuality, that is the only fund outflow that comes from this association to you. So I went through the financials in totality. We had some few interaction with the management. We had a meeting, and they responded to the queries that I had. And to that as part, we gave an opinion that is on page 4, and our opinion is a clean opinion. Yeah. And I'll just read paragraph 2. In our opinion, the financial statement give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Shibinga Benevolent Association as a 31st December 2025, and its financial performance, cash flow for the year then ended in accordance with the required standards. So that is our opinion, and that actually marks the end of presentation of the audit report. Now, I just want to take to revisit. If you are here last AGM, there was one question that actually was asked in relation to benefits payment increase. And also the committee asked me the same question. Can we run a model to see what happens? I wish there would be a PowerPoint. However, I'll just give you this information, which even during education day, you can also use the same model to inform the members. Now, it's very simple. And the way you look at the criteria under which you can use to increase your benefits paid is as follows. Number one, you look at the way or the consistency of, let me call them premium, the 300 that comes every month. If those comes intact, yeah, the way it's supposed to come. And I've used the standard level of 600 members. Yeah, just say these 600 members, they contribute without pay. Yeah, because by the end of the day, and those are the rules of the game here, is that if you are not up to date with your contribution, what happens? You might miss out on this, right? Yes, so you need to be updated. So with those 600, for example, full contribution month on month to December, what will happen? Number one, another criteria is your investment, yeah, return. Is it commensurate with the withdrawals that happens? Because by the end of the day, most of the benevolence being paid is actually from the accumulated earnings. It's not on the principal, not unless it goes above. So I've just also maintained a standard level of what happened in 2023, 24, and 25. Okay? So that is an assumption that I've made. Number three, you also look, so we've looked at the return contribution. You also look at the level of the benevolence you are paying. That one we agreed last time. You cannot fix a number. Okay, you cannot. Yeah. So we just used the number that the historical numbers. What would have happened? So these are the results. So we have a scenario one, the current scenario. The current scenario is what you are seeing on page number. So I'll use page number 6 and 7. So page number 6, yeah, captures all the criteria I've mentioned, the contributions, the income, the benefits payable. Now, item number 5, the current scenario with the current rate of spouse and a member 50,000, and then parent or a child 30,000. That is the size of the benefit payable in a year, for example, 1.4. Now, capture that. Then I've created a scenario 2. So scenario 2 is as follows. So if we increase those numbers, so for a spouse and a member, you increase by 25,000 to 75,000. Okay? And then for a parent or a child, you put it to 50 from 30. Okay, what happens? And I've run those numbers from actually 2023, because these questions actually started coming during that time. This is the third AGM now we are resolving this. So you find that in 2023, if we had to implement scenario 2 of increasing from 50 to 75 or 30 and 30 to 50, this is what will have happened. Number one, you will have actually reduced the fund by 15%. Okay? And then the return to the investment income, or I've just taken the total income the way it is without just factoring in the investment income, will be 29% of the total withdrawal that time in terms of benefits. Now, I'm using those two numbers just to give you a hint. Number 3, in 2024, you having implemented that thing in 2023. So in 2024, this will have happened. Your funds will have actually dropped, basically based on the benefits paid in 2024. So I'm there. So, and let me just say something. You remember, you see that number, page number 6, you see that column 24, 1.270. Yeah? Benefits paid. That number, if we will have implemented that thing in 2023 or 2024, that number will have been 2 million. 2025, 000, 2,025,000. You go to 2025, now you're seeing here is 1.479, right? That number will have been 2.3 million. Okay? So it's just accelerated, it's just a payment based on the new rates. Now, what will have happened to that fund? I want you to go to page number. Actually, go to page number 8. 8 is the best one. So you see that 7.4 million, or let's start. I have the 2023 numbers. If you see that number of 5.1 million, the opening balance, that 5.1 million will have been 4.3, which is a 15% drop from the current number. Then you see that 7.4 million with the same, holding other factors constant, the way we performed and everything, just adjust that number, will have been at 5.9 million, not 7.4. That will be a 21% drop. Okay? And then you see that number of 8.7 million will have been 6.3, which is 28% drop. Now, I said, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Forget about this. It's not about the fund. It's about what goes out. So I did another test and I said in 2025, go to page number 6 again. You see that 921 million. Yeah? And we are in scenario 2, 921 million versus the contribution, no, the benefits payable that we were supposed to have done by this time, if we were to have implemented the 75 and 50, which is 2.3 million, what will be the ratio? So what happens in this scenario is that our input versus output is matching at a ratio of 40 to 60. Okay? So for every 2.3 million we are issuing, yeah, 40% of that money we are getting. So the other 60 is coming from your reserve or your funds. You understand? Now, let's go to scenario 3. Scenario 3 was another one that also I remembered someone had proposed. Multiply by 2 each number. So from 50 to 100, and then from 30 to 60. Okay? Sawa. If we do that, Now, the dynamics change, okay? But there is one clear thing that came out clearly. If I could be showing these things here, you will actually be seeing something different. You can't even think about scenario 3. Why? Your return is at 23% of the funds you are giving. And then you are depleting your account by 24%. Okay? So there is 1% less. When you go to 2024, now the numbers increase. 37, 33. Okay? The same mathematics, nothing changed. Now in this scenario now, on 2025, the numbers we have, our funds will have been 4.9 if we use scenario 3, but our return is only 33% of what we are issuing out. And remember, our funds has gone down by 43%, so 10% different, holding other factors constant. You understand? So, according to this simulation, you only need 3 years, then your funds are zero. You only need 3 years, then your funds are zero. In scenario 3. In scenario 2, you only need 5 years. Your funds are zero. Holding other factors constant. Now, I'm reminding you again, 600 members, okay? 300 monthly contribution, full, yeah? Then without adjusting the benevolence payment, because we don't know eventuality, I've just used historical numbers, okay? You only need 3 years. Now, let's go now to my recommendation. What I had recommended was very simple. This model, even you can do even 1 shilling, increase 1 shilling, increase 5, whatever number you can increase. The only thing is, what I had said is, the day, look at page 6, the day that, in fact, even not page 6, I want us to go to page 11, we be specific. And it is possible, even it is possible in 2026 to happen, or even 2027. It's possible anytime. The day, you see that item number 4, other income, interest income, 781. Yeah? The day that number will match item number 5, benefits payable. The day those numbers will match, I can say, you guys, you can start that discussion. You understand? Why? Because the funds that you've invested, it's very simple mathematics. You will only be eating, or you not eating, you'll only be paying out from the income earned during the year, not the contribution, not the investment made. You understand? Meaning, even if you issue from that amount, the investment income, next year you will also make the same amount. You understand? Even if you say you stop contributing. But now stop contributing meaning you will not double that now. The benefit. So it's very, can I use the word scientific? It's just what your input must equal to your output. Yeah, it's very simple. Assuming they say, okay, you want to double this number, fine. Can we start by doubling the contribution now from 300 to 600? Then after 1 year, this investment will shift significantly, by the way. Then start discussing that, which is very close to impossible as, because the number of members you have and the ones who are contributing religiously is totally mismatched. You understand? So that's the disadvantages that you're having. So for this forum, if you want to have a proper agreement on the same, you need actually to have everyone in the same page, both from this understanding, both from your contribution. Then now you can sit here and say, what should we do? It will make a lot of sense. Yeah, but what time it will take to reach to 10 million? I say even you can reach it this year or next year, right? You remember my words? So it's very possible. Because if you look at the numbers themselves, what are we seeing? If you just compare the growth, you can see last year you've just increased by 1.3. Yeah? So we are at 8.7. You just again need to just increase by 1.3. You are at 10 million. But there are telltale signs as to when you should start having that discussion.